Hi guys, and welcome to Global Film Pool. This is the channel to get your reviews of major world cinema films, as well as follow the race for Best International Feature Film Academy Award. On today's episode, we're going to look at the German submission for this year's Academy Award, which got a nomination, The Teacher's Lounge. In this video, I will review the film, followed by some analysis of whether it should have been nominated and how well it did in the awards. I will then look at Germany's historic record in the category, as well as recent trends and whether it's got the momentum to have further success. Directed by Ilker Catak, this is set in a German high school where Carla, a secondary school teacher, has many progressive ideas of how to deliver education and try to achieve the best for her pupils. However, some of the actions she undertakes to achieve this ambition do not pay off and slightly spirals out of control. The film is quite strong in philosophical questions, in particular relating to power structures between teacher and pupil, teachers and the school establishment, which could also be a metaphor for wider society. They use the educational setting to have lessons for these young people, which she teaches, and then she explores them in the film and the wider contents and whether they are true or not. It also explores how well we know truth and whether actually it's just our assumptions and our own bias, no matter how good the intention is. It explores concepts like solidarity and when that works and when it's unnecessary, but also the sort of mob mentality and the spreading of untruths, etc. This is a real good exploration of the various issues of authority and the power dynamics between the pupil and the teacher and the institutions and people more generally in society, and how they commit to the authority of the state. The actress Leonie Benesch is absolutely formidable as Carla, and she really steals the show, and we are constantly engaged with her because she portrays all the intended emotions of the character. There's also quite remarkable cinematography, considering the sort of restricted setting of the film. It's all done in the school, and you feel this almost claustrophobic elements which really build some of the tension that the film provides. It really does feel this sort of winding up of tension throughout the film, and the cinematography, the placing of the film, and the performances really delivers this. Overall, I think this is a really tense but enjoyable film with lots to think about from it. So how did it do at the Oscars, and what do I think of its performance? So it was German submission beating the likes of A Fire, which I actually think was a stronger film. And it managed to be nominated for the Best International Feature Film Oscar, but it was never going to beat The Zone of Interest, which I think was the right decision. I've seen all 5 of the final nominated films, and I would put The Teacher's Lounge as second. I like all the nominated films. They're all 4-star films and have a lot of quality between them. But I found Society of the Snow of Spain and Io Capitano of Italy, they're very good, but they're quite an obvious story, and it feels it doesn't necessarily have the sort of philosophical element that The Teacher's Lounge has. And then for Perfect Days, which does have the philosophical element and is really good, it is perhaps just too timid for my liking, and I liked it a lot, but I don't think I like it as much as the people who absolutely adore it. So I would put The Teacher's Lounge as second, despite the fact I wouldn't necessarily choose it as German submission that year. In my current ranking of the films I have seen from this year's Academy Awards, out of the 48 submissions, I would put this as 10th. So I would definitely put it forward as a shortlisted film, but I don't think I would put it forward as a nomination. However, just to reiterate, I still think it has the quality to be considered a nominated film. I'm not upset about the decision. I'm not annoyed by the decision. It's just not necessarily my preference. Now, let me take you on a journey of Germany's historic performance in the category. Obviously, I'm only talking about the unified Germany because West and East Germany have also submitted films before the end of the Berlin Wall. Under West Germany, they had won one Academy Award for the Tin Drum, and there have been 3 nominations between West and East Germany, including the East German film Jacob the Liar. However, if we go on to a united Germany, which I am looking at, Germany are only 7th in the countries with 3 winners and 13 nominations. Germany have won the Academy Award 3 times, Nowhere in Africa in the early noughties, The Lives of Others, mid-noughties, and last year it won for All Quiet on the Western Front. I liked all those 3 films. I wouldn't necessarily choose them as my favourite for those years, but Germany seemed to have done extremely well in winning Academy Awards. So while Germany is the 7th most successful country at this particular Oscar category, let's look at more recent history and over the last 10 years. Actually, Germany's performance is extraordinarily good. They are equal first with Denmark, with 1 win for All Quiet on the Western Front, which I've already mentioned, but also 3 nominations for Tony Erdmann, The Teacher's Lounge this year, and Never Look Away, which I was quite surprised it got to that stage. It's a great film, but it's not necessarily a nomination process for myself. Tony Erdmann was very interesting because I have a feeling it was the front runner, but I think the sort of Trumpian politics of the time gave the salesman a bit more motivation towards the end of voting, which saw Iran win it over Germany. However, that's a really solid performance. They've also got 3 shortlisted films. So in a total of 10 years, they've had 1 winner, 3 nominations, and 3 shortlisted films. And then 3 that didn't get past the first round. So Germany's really got a lot of momentum. So how do I think they will do going forward? While there's very limited information because the award season's only just ended, and so we're in that weird phase of no man's land in terms of awards. There's no big suggestion yet that there's a big German film coming. There's no German film identified at Cannes. So we don't know yet. However, I think Germany, even if they don't have a front runner, always submits a really quality film. And I think that quality film usually ends up getting nominated or at least shortlisted, which is a really good indicator for the industry. It shows they pick the right sort of films for the award. So that's my review of The Teacher's Lounge and give you a bit of oversight of how Germany's doing in the awards. I think they've got great potential to continue the momentum they've built up over the last 10 years. I will eagerly look forward to see what they're going to submit this time round.